Metropolitan Police Constable Joe Lewis would have been dismissed had he not already resigned, according to a misconduct hearing recently. The hearing, held on June the 12th, heard how Lewis was more than 6 times the cut-off limit for cannabis, which I take to mean the limit allowed to be in a police constable system, which, to be fair, should effectively be 0. Lewis claims that the day before the drugs test, he had taken a puff of a stranger's cigarette whilst in the smoking area of a pub, and claimed that he did not know the cigarette contained cannabis until he had puffed it and tasted it. What a load of bullshit. Lewis said that upon realising the cigarette contained cannabis, it immediately made him feel physically sick, and claimed that until that moment, he had never smoked it. So he tried to convince people that he was 6 times the limit on a single puff, but didn't smell the cannabis before taking a puff. So much for that copper's nose. It's strange how they can smell it from 1,000 yards while driving and able to pinpoint where they think the smell's coming from at 30 miles an hour. PC Lewis resigned from the force in January, shortly after the failed drugs test, but Assistant Metropolitan Police Commissioner Barbara Gray said, "In my view, this is a highly implausible explanation for how the drugs came to be in former PC Lewis's system. Taking a puff of a cigarette being smoked by someone who is a complete stranger would be very unusual behaviour for the majority of people, and even if this were to be the case, it is likely that former PC Lewis would have been able to smell the cannabis in the cigarette if he was standing in the same smoking area." He made no attempt to come forward and report what he claims happened to him, and the fact that this event is said to have taken place after an intelligence-led drugs test had already been authorised makes PC Lewis's account all the more unlikely. It was therefore determined that on the balance of probabilities, PC Lewis was talking shit and knowingly and willingly smoked a joint. Now, there's nothing that I've seen that's to say that he's been added to the College of Policing's barred list, but as I said, it was determined that he would have been dismissed had he not resigned, which I think is an outcome we're going to see far more of. Think about it. The police want to look like they're doing more, and if, let's say, they dismiss everyone who's already left, it sounds like they're dismissing lots of corrupt coppers, when in fact they're not. But reports such as this will effectively make the general public think that they're finding and dealing with the bent coppers. What do they have to lose by simply saying they would have dismissed every cop who has already left, even for offences that didn't warrant dismissal, but the coppers left over anyway? They don't have to actually get rid of anyone who isn't already willing to quit anyway. Just a thought.